Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be my normal kind of video if you watch this channel regularly, but this is something that has been on my heart for a while, and I really feel like it's important to share, especially for maybe young people, young women out there that might be watching this video. If you read the title of this video, you know what it's kind of about. I had an online stalker, and it was a traumatizing story, and even though it never got like really like bad, it still was a traumatizing experience. And now like the whole story is like over with and has been for over a year and a half, so that's why I kind of feel comfortable sharing it. I want to bring this to the light because I know I'm not the only one that has gone through something like this. So it all started in December of 2020 when a guy messaged me on Instagram. Now, I'm not the kind of girl that goes out and like, oh, you know, a guy messaged me, wow, you know, we're gonna get married someday. Like, I was like completely in work mode back then. Like, no, just gotten over a situationship. Yeah, just bad situation. You can read more about that in my book. But like, I was not the only reason I answered, because, you know, as a woman and like probably a man too, on Instagram, if you have like an open account, anyone can message you, and most likely it's like a scammer. So that's what I thought it was. And that's why I was feeling, to be honest, you know, to be completely honest, I was feeling petty after that whole situationship and like being brokenhearted and now healing from that. I was feeling kind of petty. And so I decided, you know, this is probably a scammer reaching out. I'm just gonna answer and have some fun with it. And like, it was nothing romantic either. It was just like, hey, you know, I'm from some country in South America, and I'm looking for basically a pen pal to practice my English with, so my English can be better. So I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, whatever, I can always get to know a new person. And if it's a scammer and he starts asking me for money or something, you know, bye, you know, just block. So I thought it was just innocently just like, yeah, sure, if you want to like write to me and like practice your English, go ahead. Basically. So he ends up starting to like text a little bit like, oh, where are you from? I'm from here. And, you know, telling me a little about just life and, yeah, the differences between the two countries. And I ended up like looking, you know, him up and realized that, okay, I think he actually is like a real person. But like, it was interesting, you know, I never thought anything more than like just, yeah, a fun conversation online, basically. So time passes, and like 1 year, 2 years, something like that. And like we would send one message a month or something. Wasn't anything constantly. We're just like, I don't know, just, yeah, whatever, you know, friendship, at least from my side. Well, yeah. And then I meet my husband. That's what happened. Yeah. And then I met my husband. And with that, I didn't feel comfortable like keeping this conversation going, because like, number one, it wasn't going anywhere. It was like just, yeah, I don't know. It just felt weird. Like, I don't need to be chatting with this guy, you know, I don't really know his intentions anyway, when like I'm in a serious relationship now and like I met the man of my dreams. So I just kind of stopped responding to his messages, and like then out of nowhere he writes, this guy on the internet, he writes this long paragraph like, I love you. And from like up to this point, he's never been romantic, never said anything, like nothing, completely just friendship-based level. So out of nowhere, just I get this huge love message, and it's like, you know, oh, I've been planning our lives together, and like we're gonna move here and we're gonna do this, and I'm just like, okay, hold on, you know. No, we're not. Like, I saw this as something that was like fun for a while, to like message back and forth and get to know a person from a completely different part of the world. I have a man in my life now, and like I do not see anything romantic between us, and so therefore I stopped replying to your messages. And like, yeah, basically just like, this can't go on. I wish you all the best, basically. And so he responds and like takes it well, it looks like. And he's like, yeah, okay, you know, wish you all the best. Yeah, basically, wish you all the best. It was a while now, and I don't have the messages left. I deleted them all because I didn't want anything. Didn't want anything to do with that anymore. But yeah, something like that. So I go on with my life, you know, and we end up pregnant, and I'm in this happy mode and working and being pregnant and having this amazing man in my life. And then he contacts me again, and he's like, hey, just so you know, I don't think you have a boyfriend, man. I don't think, he comes up with some strange reason why I don't want to respond to him anymore, and like, I think you're in love with me, you just don't want to admit it, and just, you know, crazy nonsense like that. And I'm like, I'm done with this. So I block him. Like a week passes, and he creates a new account, and he messaged me again. Same nonsense, same like stories over and over again, like, I love you, you're my lioness, you're my queen, my everything, like, let's build a life together. And I just, you know, block him off again. And this continues to happen to the point where every single week, like, it was a special day, I don't remember, I think it might be like every Saturday, that message would come from a new account, and I would block that, and a week would go by, and next Saturday, another message. And just weird stuff, you guys. Nothing that was really like scary, but just, you know, I told him, I'm not in love with you. I have a man in my life. Like, I wish you all the best. Bye. And he's just pushing and being so disrespectful, like, in that. And like, yeah, basically like telling me about like his plans for our future. I'm gonna move all of a sudden to an apartment with him in another country, and like, oh, just weird stuff. And like, yeah, out of nowhere, you know, just, yeah, crazy stuff. And so when each and every Saturday comes, I start to get like a tummy ache, like I'm not feeling good, because I know that message will come. And I just continue to block and report, block and report, block and report. And he continues to just create new accounts to talk to me. And then I think finally I ended up messaging him back and just being like, completely, stop talking to you, or I will like call the police, and like, leave me alone. And of course I get some nasty, mad response to that, and I just block him again. So this continues, and it's summertime, and this is now 2023. So I've been like in contact with him basically for, well, 3 years. Well, actually like 1.5 before I met my husband and I stopped talking to him. But he's been in contact with me for like 3 years now. And it's summer. I get a message again, and this time it says, hey, I'm off work, I'm coming to see you, like in a couple of weeks. And like, he's just talking gibberish and nonsense, so I just brush it off. And then the next week comes, and he's like, oh, I booked tickets, like I'm coming to Sweden. And like, he knew a city nearby where I lived, which was really dumb of me. I should not have like mentioned at all beforehand, like any part of, like, I should have just said I live in Sweden and left it at that. But, and this was like, yeah, way back when we were first starting to message each other. And so, yeah, unfortunately he knew that, and he knew where I worked. So I was getting a little bit concerned, but still just brushing it off, that like, no one's gonna come from that far away. Well, actually at this point he had said that he had gone to Germany, I think, for work or school, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, a little bit closer, but still it's like another country. So I still felt like, no, he's just making things up to like get a response from me. So I continue to block. And then the next Saturday comes. I remember, I think it actually was, yeah, I think it was a Saturday actually. And I get to work and I go into like my little office space, and I have a present there, a chocolate and a necklace, a golden necklace. So I ask a coworker like, oh, who's this? Like, is this mine? And she's like, yeah, some guy came and left it for you. And I just freeze. it's like my heart stops. And I ask her like, what did he look like? And she described the online stalker. The same, like the picture I had seen of him. And so I just start shaking. I don't know what to do. Like, I haven't seen any more messages from him, so I'm kind of confused, and I'm just like, okay, like, wow, okay. So a little bit later in that day, he ends up coming back to my workplace, looking for me. As soon as I see him, I like run to the back because I don't want to meet him. I don't know his intentions. I don't know like what he's up to at all. Thank God it was like, it's a McDonald's place, so like there's people around. It's Saturday, it's a bunch to do, so I like work in the back. My coworkers go up front and tell him like, no, she's not here, but he had already seen me, so he knew I was there. So he stayed there for a while and like asked him, could you please like call Melody to the front, blah blah blah. I'm not coming. And I end up calling the police, but like they're not gonna do anything. They're like, well, is he a threat to you? I'm like, well, not really. It's just making me really uncomfortable. And they're like, oh, but like, we're really busy right now, so like tell one of your coworkers that he should leave. So then I end up calling my man and he comes over. But before he comes, like 10 minutes before he arrives, the stalker leaves. And so I'm relieved, but still just praying to God that he doesn't find my address and is like waiting for me at home or something, which he didn't, thank God. So I think that evening or something, I go through my Instagram and I have 2 accounts, one for my dogs and one like personal for me. So I go into my dog's account, and sure enough, there's a message that he had written that morning saying, you know, hey, I'm here in Sweden, where are you? Like all of a sudden, after I have blocked him like 25 times or something, and he creates new accounts, like all of a sudden I'm just gonna be, oh wow, yay, you came to Sweden. Like, yeah, so he had written me there telling me that, yeah, he was in my city, and like he had left this present at McDonald's, and but now he had to go back. And so I just wrote him like, don't you ever show your face here again, or I will call the police, and like my husband will beat you up, basically. And he of course responded, oh, that's so rude, blah, blah, yeah, stuff like that. And I blocked him again. And then it was nice and quiet for a while, because I think he got that reality check, like, wow, she actually doesn't want me there. Well, like a month later or something, another new account, he's back, and he's like, I think it's because you're pregnant that you don't want to talk to me, and like you're ashamed, and like, but we can have an amazing life with your child. And it's like nonsense again. So I block him, of course. And at this point, I'm so over it. I'm like 39 weeks pregnant, overworked, exhausted, and I decide, you know what, I'm done with this. I cannot block him and like get him out that way. So I ended up deleting my Facebook and my Instagram account. Just gone. And that was so nice. So I gave birth and like went through postpartum, and it was so nice to just have peace and quiet, you know, until the last message I received was here on YouTube, on one of my older videos, and it was just the same gibberish, the same nonsense, and I just, you know, like blocked him from YouTube as well. So now 1.5 years has passed, and thank God, like, this seems to be the end of the story. And I share this because I want people to know that, like, even if it's like seems innocent and like the person claims to be on the other side of the world, just don't answer. If someone contacts you on social media, be so careful. And like, I was talking to him about faith and Jesus, and you know, of course I'm gonna take the opportunity. Somebody wants to talk to me, so of course I'm gonna share the gospel with them. And like, he was very positive to that, and he was honest too, and like telling me that like he believed but not really, and I don't know, just had a good conversation about faith as well during that first part, like, yeah, 1.5 years. But like, don't trust people on the internet, guys. Don't engage with them. Be really careful, and never share your personal information. That's my stalker story, and I hope you found this helpful in some way, shape or form. Be careful, you guys. If you have had some similar experience, share your stories and thoughts down below. And yeah, be careful. Be really careful out there, you guys.